What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2 and the Trials update. Now, today I wanted to kind of take a look at the perspective of a returning player to Dungeon Defenders 2. Not necessarily someone that's been gone for a while, but someone that's geared in full NM4 gear and is ready to start off in the Trials. Now, your objective, of course, is going to be to get fully geared up in Chaos 3 gear, as with the current, there's no item power anymore, of course, but there is still a gating inside of the game, and you cannot get upgrades no matter what difficulty you play until you are fully decked out in Chaos 3 gear. Now, some of you are going to be able to hop right in and jump right on into that with your little freebie shards that you got, and jump right on into Chaos 3 and make it happen. Others will not. And it's important to remember that even if you were in full 750 item power gear, that you are in full 750 item power gear that has no passives. And we all know the importance of passives. What used to be the importance of passives is now the importance of shards. So the very first thing you need to do is get yourself some shards. Now, the shards that are really going to help you on your way into Chaos 3 are actually available through the campaign, Chaos 1 and Chaos 2. So it'll be very easy for you to go and get the shards. Anyone in NM4 gear, of course, can do any campaign map. Now, when you're going through the campaign, you will earn Ascension points, or Ascension XP, I should say, just not as much as you would in the Trials and in the Chaos modes. And you will also get shards. Now, how the shard system works is the shards are tiered in different brackets. However, a shard that's available in the campaign will also still be available in Chaos 1. However, it's not going to have as high of a drop rate as it would have in the campaign. So you do what you're comfortable with. Don't hesitate to go back and do some campaign maps. I did that myself. A lot of DD2 vets, we hopped right on in. We started doing the campaign to get our shards before we made the jump to Chaos 3. Now, I wanted to go ahead and put together a little list of some helpful shards that you guys can get very early that are going to help you on your way. So let's go ahead and take a look at them. I've got it divided into 3 sections here. We've got defense shards, hero shards, and then just some quality of life shards. Now, first off, let's start right off at the defense shards. We've got destruction. Destruction is kind of the bread and butter of a lot of builds, as you see, increase the defense power of the affected tower by 2%. Now, once you go ahead and fully upgrade that shard, that's going to go all the way up to 34%. So 34% increased defense power. Any builder can obviously recognize the importance of this shard. You're actually going to need a whole bunch of these, but they are pretty readily available and on the easier maps. So just hop on in and get yourself some destruction shards. Destruction you're going to definitely want in just about any damaging tower that you plan on using in Chaos 3. So let's go ahead and move right along to defense critical damage. As you will see on your tooltip, your critical chance is going to be at 3%. 3% is the base crit chance. You currently have no crit. Now you can earn crit through Ascension, plus you can get crit, of course, through a shard, and that is the defense critical damage shard. Now, we go ahead and take a peek at this bad boy. Now, it starts off at 2%. We up that guy all the way, and wrong shard. That was the that wasn't the crit chance. There's the crit chance. All right, let's take a look at that one. All right, there it is. Okay, so the crit chance of the affected tower by 15%. So now your crit just went up 15%. You're now at 18% crit, where just a minute ago you were at 3. So you're making some serious progress already. Defense crit shards, the crit chance shards, of course, are very, very important, particularly when you have no Ascension, as Ascension is the way you're going to get 20 of your defense critical chance points. So make sure that you get yourself that defense critical strike shard. Now, as you see, the next one is just like the destruction shard, where it increases the defense power, except it's going to increase your defense crit. This one starts off low as well. Once it's fully upgraded, as you see this one as, it gets you 34% increased crit damage. Once again, every builder knows the importance of this. That's going to be kind of a no-brainer shard for you to hop on into. Now, another absolutely necessary shard that you really must have before you go to Chaos 3. We all remember Hardy Blockade for the Squire. That's what made the Squire meaty. That's what got the job done for him. And you're going to need yourself the current version of Hardy Blockade, which is Fortification. Now, as we see, Fortification is going to start off at 2% increased defense health. Once you upgrade that all the way, 34% increased defense health. You're not going to get that 40% blockade or Hardy Blockade like you used to have, but you are going to get a 34%. The kicker here is you're going to be able to get a 34% that is usable in any wall. So this is the go-to. You got to have it. Your walls are not going to be walls without that increased 34%. So make sure you get yourself a fortification shard. And this, like I said, this is going to go in every single tower that you want to use as a wall throughout the game. The fortification shard will be there. Well, now let's move on over to some of the hero damage shards. First off, we got Inspiration. Reduces the cooldown of your abilities by 4%. This is a shard that goes in your helmet. Now, obviously, you're going to have lots of slots available in your armor pieces. However, this is one that will really help you along your way, as most of the heroes are definitely weighted more towards their abilities now. Ability power hero crit will be the best that you can do with most of the heroes currently. So, of course, you're going to be using your abilities. You want those cooldowns lower. Once we upgrade that bad boy, 40% reduction to the cooldown of your abilities. So awesome. Now, if you notice through all this, I have been using Defender medals. And I want to tell you guys, even though it doesn't look like a whole lot of money, it does stack up. So do not use your gold. Save the gold. You want that gold for later. Alright, now this, in my opinion, is one of the best shards in the game. We all recognize it already. It is Construction. Increase repair and upgrade speed during combat phase by 125%. Let's up that bad boy. Oh yeah, 205%. Now, the reason I say this one is so important is because this is a whole new game. This is not set up and run like it used to be. You are going to have walls, and you're going to have to repair them, or you're not going to be able to get through that Chaos 3. So construction is huge, and it makes building on the fly, repairing your walls, kind of a no-brainer. As most of you read, the Siege Roller took a pretty heavy-duty nerf on single player, and with this shard in your gloves, no Siege Roller in single player is going to be able to out DPS you. You're going to be able to heal through substantially more damage than they're going to be able to put out. So like the strategy, currently I'm on Chaos 4 right now, and the strategy I'm using is I don't touch a roller until he gets all the way to the wall. As soon as he starts beating on the wall, I'll just repair the wall up, let him sit there and beat on it, and take my time until everything else is dead. As another thing you will notice is there are some hard-hitting baddies. Oh yeah. So make sure you get Construction, because they're going to tear up your walls. I don't know how else to put it. Walls are going to be required. Like I said, once you see this shard in action, you will understand what I mean. And this really, really is an important shard through all aspects and all difficulty levels of the game. Now we're going to move on along to some quality of life shards. These are shards that aren't necessarily mandatory, but they do make for some nice little twists. First off, we're going to start off with Overwhelm. Everybody recognizes this from the earth damage weapons. And Overwhelm is your primary attacks have a 7% chance to stun enemies for 1 second. Let's upgrade that bad boy. And it is now a 15% chance to stun for 3 seconds. You get yourself a fast-firing weapon, this thing procs constantly. It's just a huge help. It's, like I said, I put it in the quality of life section as it's definitely not necessary, but it does make life a little bit easier. And that's another one that is readily available, and you should find through the campaign Chaos 1 or Chaos 2. Now, moving right along, we got the speed boost. Obviously, it was our medium skill spheres. And this as well, every single hero, in my opinion, should have the speed boots in their boots, as you guys already know. You know what it is. We go ahead and max that bad boy out, and it is 500 increased movement speed. That's going to get you around the map much, much nicer. Now, before I move on to this last shard, I wanted to talk to you about just some of the changes to defenses. Now, first off, every tower in the game has had its aggro reduced down to flamethrower level. What that means is you can put towers in places where you wouldn't have before. Say this is the lane coming down, and say the target dummies are the core right here. Oh, you can put towers just all right along this lane. You can throw some frosties in here. You know, you can get yourself a flamethrower in there. You can get yourself a earth shatter on there. Whatever you want to do. You've got a huge chance of these towers not even getting hit. Now, obviously, if you park it right next to your blockade, it's going to take a little cleave damage and going to get smashed up. But there is a huge chance. It's not 100%, but it is a large chance that these towers are not going to get hit. So let's move on to the next shard. One of the important things you'll find, particularly in Chaos 3, is Chaos 3's special boss is the Geode. We all recognize it from the dev stream. The big old shield and the crazy glowy ball. It's a reflect shield. It will kill you. It will kill your core. So you got to get the reflector down. One of the easiest ways to do this is, just like I said, putting towers out in places where you normally wouldn't. So say we've got a wall, say right here, and you know, say this flamethrower, where back in another day and age, we may put it like over here, kind of behind the wall, something similar to that. Oh, we don't have to do that anymore. We can go right up top. In fact, we can go something like this, right down the path, and not even sweat it. And there's a solid chance these flamethrowers will not get touched. However, of course, they're still going to be ripping it out. Now, that goes along to this next shard. The next shard is a Vampiric Empowerment. Increases the defense power of the affected tower by 4% of its defense health. Now, I have always been a defense power, defense crit kind of guy. I've always tried to put my towers somewhere where I didn't have to worry about them getting hit. Now that there's an aggro reduction and you can get those out there, you're going to want to take advantage of it. And of course, most players have an apprentice, and the flamethrower is kind of a go-to tower for this situation. Now, on that flamethrower tower with a totem, that's right, a defense health totem, not defense power, not a medallion. We're going right for a Waller's totem, and we're going to put that Vampiric Empowerment in there, and that is going to increase our defense power by 60% of its health. Now, for me personally, this ended up, when I switched over to this totem and used Vampiric Empowerment, I got about a 5,000 damage per second increase, but more importantly, I got flamethrowers that are 358,000 health that are, like I said, I got a 5,000 damage per second increase. So they're hitting harder and they're healthy as all hell. So with those, you don't have to worry about where you put it, because even if it does take a shot, it's not going to die. So you're going to be good to go on your flamethrowers with that massive health. Now, of course, you get this bad boy upgraded up. Then you got a flamethrower with almost 600,000 health. That's dishing out 40,000 damage per second in complete AoE damage and just wrecking up the place. So how awesome is that? Now, going through the campaign, Chaos 1, Chaos 2, none of those are necessary, like I said. However, they are very easy ways for you to pick up all these shards and make your life a little bit easier as you jump into Chaos 3. Just like before, where item power was not as important as the perfect passives, right now, going to Chaos 3 and getting your gear swapped out so you can start getting some upgrades is not as important as getting the shards. So, you know, some people, of course, are going to want to rush it. Some people are going to want to take their time. My suggestion is take your time, enjoy the game, and enjoy the journey. We all know, no matter how much we want to get to the end, we all know that it's more fun getting there than it is once we're there. So I hope this helps everyone out. There will be lots and lots more DD2 content coming over the next several weeks and through the Trials update. The last few days it's been a little thinner than I would have liked to have done, and the reason being is I want to play. You know, I've been playing the game. So as you see, I've got myself up to Ascension 100 now, right under my nameplate there up top, and I've been grinding hard on the game, and hopefully I'm going to be to the point where I can figure out all kinds of good stuff to teach everyone out there. So I wanted to give a special thank you to everyone in the Juicy Nation for helping out and putting this shard list together for me. But in particular, FreeTheGamer helped me out quite a bit, and in addition to that, he does have a very nice Google document with all of the current shards available, and I will put that link down below in the description. So by all means, go through and check out the hotness. You are going to find a lot of shards. Shards. More shards. You're going to have bags full of shards because that's what the game is about. As you see, everybody knows I'm a bit of a hoarder. I've been holding on to these darn things for too long. I got too many shards. I got too many duplicates, everything else. But I've yet to go through them and clean it all up. So I'm just saving everything. I don't want to sell anything prematurely without, you know, making sure I don't have something good there. So thanks again for watching. Click that like button and please subscribe. And we will be back soon with lots more Dungeon Defenders 2. Thanks again. See ya.